It's been an absolutely stacked week full of brand new games getting revealed, and we have a ton of them coming to our Xbox consoles, with also some of them coming to Xbox Game Pass. Today we have 18 games to cover, and you won't want to miss them in this video, and also make sure to keep an eye out for that Game Pass icon so you know which ones are coming to the service. With that, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation. Subscribe for more Xbox content every single day, and let's dive right into the games coming our way. First up, and a massive reveal that took place as of yesterday, was the showing of Battlefield 6 multiplayer, and we finally got to look at the insane gameplay that we can expect to play later on this year. Yes, Battlefield 6 is launching on the 10th of October, and one bit of exciting news has also dropped that an open beta will be going live over the next 2 weekends, with the dates on screen now. And no, you don't have to pre-order the game to take part in these. As part of the reveal, we also got a look at the gameplay, which looks like the old days of Battlefield 3 but with modern improvements, and it looks bloody incredible. Out of the gate on launch, there'll also be 9 multiplayer maps, over 20 weapons, a full single player campaign, and an expansion on Portal so you can create your custom maps, and even a tease of a free-to-play battle royale. This package is looking absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to dive into it later on this year. A very quick bit of news for you as well is that the free-to-play game known as Frostpunk is also joining the Xbox Game Pass library, but notably this is the cloud-only version. This now means you can play the card-changing FPS on any device that you own, as long as you have a stable internet connection, and I'm pretty sure that will increase the player base as well. Usually with these sort of free-to-play games entering Game Pass, it does also mean we might see some additional content or even perks being added or included with our subscription. So do keep an eye out on the perk section, as we might see some Frostpunk editions very soon. In some very exciting news, we did get some confirmation from the team over at 11-Bit Studios that Frostpunk 2 will be making its way to our Xbox Series X and S consoles and also Xbox Game Pass on the 18th of September. This one is set 30 years after the original game, and we will have to lead our desperate society in a frozen world. This sequel though did introduce some rival factions, allowing us to negotiate, form alliances, or even crush our opposition. The game's weather system is also more advanced, featuring dynamic blizzards and shifting temperatures that do require your precise planning. So far, the game has been a great success, and reviews over on PC since its initial release have been incredibly high, and I really expect it will hit the same mark on our consoles when it lands this year. They have had a year or so to improve the performance and make sure the control scheme works well for our controllers, so fingers crossed for when it launches this September. As a bit of a surprise, we finally got a release date for an upcoming Xbox Game Pass title. Hurdling was revealed back last year, and it's the first fully 3D outing from the devs behind Far Lone Sails and Far Changing Tides. This single-player adventure though lets us guide a herd of curious cattle across a ruined yet breathtaking world, all whilst traversing majestic mountainscapes, fog-wreathed forests, snowy plateaus, and forgotten valleys. It has been said that this landscape is filled with tons of hidden dangers and strategic challenges, and also requires us to make some very tough choices. It sounds utterly fantastic, and it's just been revealed that it will be coming to Xbox Game Pass on the 21st of August, and it's available to preload on your consoles right now. Well, the masters of HD2D are finally back with another grand adventure. During a recent Nintendo showcase, Square Enix officially announced Octopath Traveler 0, a brand new standalone prequel to the critically acclaimed RPG series. The epic saga is actually set to unfold on December 4th and will be launching on both the Xbox Series X and S consoles. It was revealed with a stunning new announcement trailer, which I'm currently showing you on screen right now, and this sequel will delve into the history of Ostera, introducing a customizable protagonist and a host of new features to the beloved formula. And pre-orders for this one are, believe it or not, live right now. I do find it slightly odd though how this one is built upon the story mode of the mobile title known as Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent, but it does include a wealth of new content and reinterprets the story beats, so it does look pretty decent overall. Following on with a couple more announcements from the Nintendo Direct, Capcom entered with a surprising but welcome announcement known as Monster Hunter Story 3 Twisted Reflection, and it's also coming to our Xbox consoles sometime in 2026. This is actually the third installment in the spin-off turn-based RPG series following the success of Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. In this one, we'll take on the role of Azuria's heir, the sole Rathalos rider, who does embark on a journey to investigate a crystal encroachment threatening the entire world. Joining the protagonist is Eleanor, Vermeil's princess and a political hostage, and we will set out as a party to uncover the secrets of Vermeil's queen. It looks utterly incredible, and I know so many of you are really excited by this surprise announcement, with many looking forward to seeing the return of Monster Hunter story series after a 4-year hiatus. We've also heard from Square Enix that the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tale, is planned for both the Xbox Series X and S as well, and is also due to arrive sometime in 2026. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tale comes from the creators of Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, but this new game, which features HD 2D visuals, offers action-adventure gameplay with a journey woven across time and space. Also noted in the descriptions and from more press releases from Square Enix, we will be able to open paths as we explore an untamed continent and reveal its mysterious history. There will also be battles with strategic support abilities provided by Helpful Fairy. It's looking good, and I do love seeing this HD 2D visual styled experience, so I'll be waiting to dive into it sometime next year. Well, hot off the heels of the Chronos New Dawn previews, Blooper Team have now revealed when you'll be able to get your hands on with this excellent looking horror game, and it's a lot sooner than you actually think. Chronos the New Dawn is coming this September on both of the Xbox Series consoles, and I know many of you have been eagerly anticipating this one. They shared the news via a trailer of the game, which I'm showing on screen now, and this new trailer even looked bloody incredible. If you're not aware of this game though, you essentially play as what's called a traveller, working for the Collective and are tasked with scouring the wastelands of the future in search of time rifts that transport you back to 1980s era Poland. I think it looks bloody brilliant, but then again, I don't really play horror games and I don't know if I can bring myself to play this one. Even so, this one is one that you need to put on your radar for this September. One announcement that seemingly came out of nowhere as of last night was that Heavy Gear is finally making a return. The devs are calling this one an immersive sci-fi action RPG with mech combat and open world exploration, but powered by Unreal Engine 5, and we can expect it within the next couple of years. Not much was really shown, but I do like the vibe that they're really going for. I personally don't know much about the lore of Heavy Gear, as I only dabbled a bit with the first 2 games many moons ago. I do remember though that the soft reboot of Heavy Gear Assault didn't really work out too well, so hopefully Heavy Gear 3 does something very special. I do hope this returns into something good, especially for all of you longtime fans of this series. We have seen a wealth of simulation games over the past few years, and yes, we are indeed getting another one this year, but it's looking pretty good compared to the others in this same genre. Described as an immersive and highly realistic firefighting simulation, this new game will have you playing as a US firefighter facing high-stakes missions that demand skill, strategy, and teamwork. You will need to rescue civilians while dealing with complex fire scenarios ranging from grease fires to explosive hazards. When playing solo though, you will be able to fight alongside AI controller teammates, or you can band together with your friends for 4-player co-op. The game also does boast Unreal Engine 5 visuals and a range of officially licensed firefighting equipment brands, so it's looking like a brilliant second entry. It finally arrives, if you're interested though, on the 9th of September. If you're like me, sometimes we're tired of seeing games being rehashed with the same stories, tropes, and gameplay mechanics that we've seen over and over again. That's why Hella, a brand new action-adventure puzzle hybrid, is causing quite a bit of buzz in the gaming world, and honestly, it seems well deserved, especially with the gameplay trailer that we saw yesterday. I can't really talk about Hella without hyping up the gameplay though. From the trailers and the early peeks, there's a delightful mix of different puzzles, exploration, and magical abilities at play here. If you're someone who loves co-op capabilities or working through challenges that don't immediately make you want to throw your controller, then this one looks like it's going to hit that sweet spot quite accurately. As mentioned, it has now been confirmed with a release window, and it will be coming to all of the Xbox consoles sometime in 2026. I'm always on the lookout for an interesting new shooter to play, and this week gave us an awesome announcement. An upcoming survival horror FPS launching later this year is called Beneath, and it will be coming to our Xbox consoles, and it's looking bloody insane. Beneath looks like the kind of game you get if you blended the stealth or shoot nature and ammo scarcity of the Metro games with the tense combat and supernatural horrors of both Fear or Trepang 2, and is complete with a Lovecraftian emphasis on the terrors that lie in the ocean's depths. The devs have actually come out and stated that they were always a fan of the original Fear games and that they were a massive inspiration for this newest title. They also wanted to create a full-length narrative first game that recaptures that feeling, so you can expect no online mode, no microtransactions, it's just you, your instincts and a lot of ammo in a full-priced one-and-done experience. As of yesterday, the team over at Monome Park have officially announced the full 1.0 release for Slime Rancher 2, almost 3 years on from its initial early access launch. The final version version of Slime Rancher 2 will hit both the Xbox Series X and S consoles on the 23rd of September, with a physical edition also confirmed, which is a very rare sight to see these days. Sadly, the game's 1.0 release doesn't appear to be coinciding with a return to Xbox Game Pass. If you do remember, upon its early access launch back in September 2022, the game was actually part of Xbox Game Pass before it left last year. Of course, I will update you if I do hear anything about its return to Xbox Game Pass, but for now, that really doesn't seem to be on the cards. Are you going to be diving back into Slime Rancher 2? You'll have to let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. While it was announced at a Sony showcase, don't panic, because we're very much getting Final Fantasy Tactics Xbox Series X and S release sometime this year. Final Fantasy Tactics The Invalis Chronicles will mark the first time that this classic PS1 game has ever been available on Xbox consoles, and is currently set to launch on the 30th of September. So not only are we getting one of the absolute best entries in the franchise's long history, but we're also hopefully seeing the start of a change that might see more Final Fantasy games hitting Xbox very soon. This new release will not only allow players to experience the original title in its original form, but also enjoy an enhanced version of this game with numerous additions, including voice acting and so much more. Are you excited to see Final Fantasy Tactics coming to Xbox? You'll have to let me know down below. If you've been waiting for the Cabin Factory to come to our Xbox consoles, well, you're officially in luck, as it has been announced for Xbox only at this time, as the game makes its way over from PC. If you aren't familiar with this one, you're essentially a new employee at a cabin factory. You'll be inspecting hyper-realistic horror cabins as they come straight off the assembly line, and then determine whether or not the cabin is actually haunted. The job is pretty simple at heart, except your life is on the line, and of course, like any horror game, things never go as expected. I did do some digging, and many on Steam seem to say that this has a pretty decent variety of different haunts and anomalies within the cabins, and they aren't repetitive during each of the story modes. The game does run around the 2-hour mark, so it's not a massive experience by any means, but with its low price tag, it's looking like a decent looking game. PACMAN is officially 45 years old this year, and Bandai Namco is celebrating with not one, but 2 games starring the mascot for this year. The first was of course the recent release of Shadow Labyrinth, and now PACMAN World 2 REPAC has officially been announced. This is a remake of the PS2 platformer in the same vein as 2022's PACMAN World REPAC's revival of the PlayStation 1 classic. Anyway, it's a colourful 3D platformer about collecting fruit and then defeating the ghosts as you venture across Pac-Land. As well as the visual upgrade though, PACMAN World 2 REPAC introduces local co-op, so a second player can join in as Pac-Drone and able to shoot enemies and vacuum up dots. The remake also includes what are called stage missions, which when completed reward you with some special items such as cosmetics for your Pac-Man or figures that you can put on display. The game is heading to our Xboxes on the 26th of September this year, and I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Hideo Kojima is known for making some very divisive games, and it appears that tradition will continue with one of his next projects, known as OD. If you remember, this is an Xbox published experience, and it will be coming to Xbox Game Pass when it launches sometime very soon. Speaking to Sense, Kojima said that people will be surprised by it and will have some very strong feelings. The game is what he calls something totally different, and adds that people will love it or even hate it. Kojima then went on to say that he isn't too stressed about whatever people say about OD when it comes out, and that the true test will come possibly decades later. I do hope we see more of OD, maybe at Gamescom or even the Game Awards later this year, but here's hoping we see a fantastic horror experience from Kojima once again. The Katamari Damacy series is one of gaming's greatest joys, and so it's really great to see it make a grand return with a brand new entry called Once Upon a Katamari. Unlike the remasters released in the past few years, Once Upon a Katamari is an all-new game, and as you can see in the reveal trailer on screen right now, it's looking bloody great. In this game though, you'll need to roll up different objects to form stars yet again, only this time you'll be travelling through different eras. Special abilities can also be employed to help you complete your missions, like a magnet that attracts nearby objects and a timer that will freeze things in place, so it's great to see this sort of variety come to this brand new experience. Again, it does look absolutely brilliant, and I'm always certainly a sucker for these sort of Katamari games. If you're like me and you want some weird and wacky times, then this game launches on the 24th of October, and it will be available both digitally and also physically. So, what game announcement or update are you excited for? You'll have to let me know down below. Remember to like this video if you did enjoy, and subscribe for more Xbox content like this, or even more reviews, exclusive previews, and so much more every single day. Whilst you're here though, why don't you check out my most recent video on screen now, as I covered the huge sale going on in the Xbox store right now, with the deals ending in less than 24 hours.